There once was a man who had a dream, and in this dream he seen an angel. And the angel began to speak to him. And the angel said, "Behind you there are two doors. Behind one of the doors are the people waiting for their paradise and for their reward. Behind the other door are people waiting for their destruction, for their hellfire, for their punishment." The angel said, "I want you to go into both rooms and experience the feeling of either waiting for your reward or waiting for your destruction." The man proceeded. He opened the door and entered the room, and he noticed 5 people sitting around a round table. And in the middle of the table was a bowl of soup. And all 5 of these people had metal arms, and their hands were spoons. And they were skinny, and they were panicking, and they were suffering. And they were digging into this porridge, into the soup, and try to feed themselves. They were trying so hard, but their arms were so long that the food, the soup, the porridge was going over their shoulder. They couldn't even nourish themselves. They couldn't even feed themselves. And the man who was witnessing all of this began to panic himself. And he exited the room. And he asked the angel, "Are these the people waiting for their punishment because of their selfishness?" And the angel said, "Yes." The man said, "Can I proceed to the next door?" The angel said, "You may proceed." The man went to the next door, and he opened the door, and he walked inside the room. And he seen 5 people sitting around a round table, and in the middle of the table was a bowl of soup. All 5 of these people had metal arms, and their hands were spoons. But this time they were happy, they were healthy, they were plump. And they were digging into this soup, into this porridge, and they were feeding each other because they weren't selfish. They believed in good karma. They knew that if they helped someone else out, that they will eventually receive the same help by not being arrogant and selfish or being solipsistic. They realized that the earth doesn't just revolve around them, that we all share this earth, that we are all created equal. And therefore they were waiting for their reward. Why? For helping each other out, for not being selfish, for not being arrogant, for having hope. And the moral of the story is, when you see someone in need of help, just put yourself in their shoes, because one day you will need help. And there's a saying of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, and sympathetic with the striving, because someday in life you will have been all of these. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.